The time is 23 minutes to 7. The Department of Work and Pensions is facing more questions about the degree to which it monitors and investigates deaths of people who are receiving benefits. On Monday, the Labour MP Debbie Abrahams led a Commons debate on the death of people on social security benefits. She read out a list of some of the names of those who died.
Trevor Draycard, 2014, died again, taking his own life. Sean Pilkington. It's unforgivable. These are people's family members, and we are failing them. We absolutely are failing them. We mustn't let this continue. I'm going to finish this list if I can. Sean Pilkington died in January 2014, and Terry McGarvey, who died in February 2014. This isn't an exhaustive list, but it shames us all. It shames the government in terms of the inaction. I've raised this so many times over the last 5 years, and there's been no change whatsoever.
That was Labour MP Debbie Abrahams. Let's talk to our reporter Zoe Conway. And this is something you've been monitoring and reporting for us in recent months. And we were saying earlier in the month, weren't we, the department had carried out a number of investigations into suicides of benefit claimants. What more can you tell us now?
So we know that the department has carried out more than 100 internal reviews. So these are quite secretive reviews carried out within the department into the deaths of benefit claimants. We know there's been more than 100 of them, 49 carried out before 2015, 69 carried out since 2015. What we've discovered is that in response to a Freedom of Information request, the government has revealed that it has destroyed the reviews that took place before 2015. It says that this is in line with data protection laws, GDPR as it's known. The reason why I think this is significant is because the families of those that have died have long been campaigning to get access to these reviews. We know, for example, that the new chair of the Work and Pension Select Committee, Stephen Timms, he thinks the committee should see these reviews. And so I think it's significant that the government is now saying that these reviews have been destroyed.
And destroyed simply as a matter of course, because that's what has to happen under privacy legislation. Is that the claim?
So what they're saying is that, and I'm reading from their answer to this Freedom of Information request that was submitted, records prior to 2015-16 have been destroyed or are incomplete in line with GDPR data retention policies. We've run this past the Information Commissioner, that's the watchdog, to check all of this. And what they're saying is that it's up to each organisation to draw up their own data protection rules. They're saying that there isn't actually anything within the legislation that says when you have to destroy this data. You shouldn't keep it for longer than necessary. But there is, interestingly, an exemption that if it's in the public interest to keep data, however personal that data is, then that exemption is allowed.
Yeah, and we heard there from Debbie Abrahams, the Labour MP, but you've also talked, haven't you, to families of people who say we really do want this investigated because we think something awful happened that could have been prevented.
So I spoke to the sister of a man who took his own life soon after his benefits were stopped. Her name is Linda Cooksey. Her brother long had mental health problems. He took his own life in 2013 after his benefits were stopped. A review took place in February 2014 into the death. She has been trying to get hold of this review, and it now looks like she may never see it because it's been destroyed.
Zoe Conway, thank you. We'll hear your report at 7:30. Thank you. 27 minutes to 8 is the time. When a vulnerable person is on benefits and those benefits are changed, withdrawn perhaps, what care is taken to make sure they're not left in an even greater mess? For years, families have been asking to see the reviews carried out by the Department of Work and Pensions when someone dies who is on benefits. In 2014, a review was carried out into the case of Tim Salter, who had long suffered from mental health problems. He was assessed as fit to work by the department in 2013. Not long after that, he took his own life. For years, the family has asked to see the findings of the review, but they've been refused by the department. Zoe Conway has been speaking to his sister, Linda Cooksey.
Linda, your brother Tim had mental health problems for a long time, hadn't he? And then he was called to an assessment to assess his ability to work. Tell me what happened.
The assessors found him fit to work and his money was stopped, and because he'd been left with no money for quite a few months, he got more and more depressed. I didn't know anything about it at the time because he kept himself to himself, and basically took his own life.
Had he told the assessor about his mental health problems?
Oh yes, all the forms that were filled in were related to his previous suicide.
He attempted to take his own life in 1989.
Yeah.
And that led to him being partially blind.
That's right, yes. But they didn't take into account that he'd already tried to take his life. They'd actually just abandoned him when he needed help. He was very, very vulnerable, nobody there to help him.
The coroner drew a direct link between his benefits being stopped and his death.
That's right, yes, yeah.
There was a review into his case, what they call the internal peer review, and that took place in February 2014. Why is it important to you to see the peer review that was done in 2014?
We just want to know why and how they could let it happen, really.
We don't know for certain, but it's likely that the peer review that was carried out has now been destroyed and you won't be able to see it.
Yeah, well, that was a bit of a shock, but it doesn't surprise me at all because they're just trying to cover up all the other peer reviews as well at the same time.
The department says that this is about data protection and they're following the new GDPR law. What do you say to that?
What happened about freedom of information? You know, we should be allowed to find out what happened. And why would they want to destroy them? You know, what are they hiding?
So you think this is a cover-up?
I do. I think it is, yes.